we're going to gain stage the tracks. So gain staging helps us to create headroom. Just imagine this, right? Have you ever been in a small room or a space where you feel that that room or that space is too small for you, right? And you feel that you've got the chance of hitting your head. Well, it's similar to what gain staging is in an audio analogy. When we're gain staging, we're creating a bigger space to allow for more headroom so our tracks can breathe and work at an optimal level for mixing, the plugins, and mastering. So what we're going to do to achieve that, we'll open up the Logic Gain plugin on all the tracks except the master. I'll show you where that is. So if we go to Kick here and we go down to Logic, and then we were to go to Utility, that is where our Gain plugin is. Now we can do this individually, right? So I could select that and then repeat the process for all of these channels, but that is very cumbersome. So I'm going to select all the channels here, and I'm going to repeat that process, and it will actually open that on all the channels. Okay, there we go. Now we'll just check one of these stereo channels, which let's say overheads. If I click on these arrow icons and I click and hold under utility, I go to gain, you'll see that it is also set as a stereo track. So they were mono tracks for the majority, but there were a few stereo tracks. So I just want to ensure that they are stereo gain. They haven't turned it into a mono track, and you can do that just the way that I showed you then. This icon up here is called pre-fader metering, and what we'll do is we're going to put it into pre-fader metering, and we're going to use our gain tool to adjust the gain on all of the tracks. So I'm just going to go to a portion of the song that probably plays the loudest, and maybe over here or something, going into the chorus and the chorus as well, and that most of the channels are playing. And I'm going to just apply or change the gain on each of these plugins that are associated with the channel to set up the optimal gain staging. And before I do that, I'll set all of these channels back to to Unity here at 0. So let's start with kick. Now you'll notice there that it did just clip. So I'll just put this into solo mode, and I'll do that on the kick. And let's have a look at what we got with the kick. Ideally, we want it to be around -12 dB when we're setting the headroom, so around that figure. So if I'm just going to move this down, take away a bit of gain just till we get down to there. Nice. Okay, let's do it again. Pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the snare. So in that instance, I just turn the snare up a little bit. I can always change that later if I need to. We'll check here with the hats. Let's see where the hats are. So I've got a key command here, which is Apple and the arrow down key. Have I got any hats? Well, I've got a few little hats here in the bridge. Yeah, perfect. I'm not going to worry about that. I really don't need that. And yeah, play that again. That's quite low. I might just beef that up a touch. A bit more. Just a little note as well, when you're closing a window, you can do it by just clicking here. It's pretty easy to do, or you could just go Apple W and it'll close the plugin window. Just be careful though, because it could close your session. So I'll just go there, Apple W, and I will open up the overheads. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. The room looked pretty good. Percussion. Yeah, so I can turn the percussion down a little bit, okay? Yep, nice. Okay, shakers. Shakers are fine, they're just a bit loud. Let's look at the bass. Yep. So we'll I'll close that percussion window and we'll turn the bass down a little bit. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's see. Easy. Yep. Nice. So I could probably turn this electric piano down a little bit. That's not bad. We'll just turn the volume of the strings down. So we'll go to the acoustic. We'll do the same thing here with the acoustic. Yeah. And for the capo. Pretty happy with that. And the lead vocal.
What I love most is you. What I love most is you.
Perfect. So now what I'll do is I'll just mute the stereo output. Okay. But we can see that the channels will be playing. Okay. And we're not going to be clipping on anything there. So everything looks pretty good. We're at about 12. The shaker's a tad loud. I'll turn that down a bit. Okay. And the bass pretty good, like mostly around -12. So we've got like a lot of headroom, and that headroom is the difference between where that signal was coming in and the level between 0 and the amount of space that we had here. So that's what we're talking about with headroom. So I'll show you here. So there I clipped it just a little bit. And if I turn all of these volumes down, so I'll go prefade, if I just turn that down a little bit, because I'm not going to mix that hot. But now if I start down, let's say at about -4, and I have a listen, I already have a little bit of headroom, so I'm ready to start mixing. Now, one of the things that we're going to do before we mix is I'll actually go through and mix into a G-Bus style compressor. So I've got a video on how to do that and the way that it sounds. I'll show you that. You'll be able to see that and click on that at the end of the video. I'm going to go through and just set that up. You can also import the channel strip, which is available on the other video if you would like, but I'll go through and I'll set that up. And then one of the key commands that I did say in that video, which is so important, if you want to toggle between having your plugins playing, then just Control Option Apple Y. Now that might have been a key command that I've set up. I'll show you how to set up your key commands. If you go to key command and then edit assignment, so if you go to Option K, and you could find any of the key commands here that you want to change, and you can actually create your own key commands. But we'll do that later. I just wanted to show you that key command, which is, for me, it's Control Option Command Y. And for example, let's say I want to turn all the gain off, and you'll be able to hear the hear the difference. I'll turn all of these off, and we'll just have a look at the headroom. So you can see that we've pretty much got no headroom there, even though we're at the same level of where we've set our channel strips in terms of the mixer window. So that gain function is such a cool little trick to set and to configure the gain staging. So we're pretty much really close to mixing. When we mix, I like to think ahead. So I've already started thinking and planning out in my brain what I want to do. And for this, I would actually like to set up a channel strip. and the channel strip is going to be something that I'll be able to just copy and paste onto all the channels. Now, let's have a look here. So when I go into the channel strip, I want to have an EQ. So, but I want the vintage EQ, the console EQ. So I've got my console EQ. Yep. And that has now opened it up on all the channels, which is so cool. Okay. I do like having a little bit of space. So what I'm going to do is just open up another plugin. Let's say, for example, a compressor here, and that will now go through and apply a compressor. So we've got a bit of EQ, a compressor, but I want to move that compressor down. I'm actually going to do this. There's not really a cheat way of doing this on all of the plugins, but I'm going to move this down. The reason being is I like to have a little bit of versatility. If I want to have the EQ before the compressor or the compressor before the EQ, this is a really cool and easy way of moving them, because I can move it pre or post EQ, pre or post compression, etc. So, okay, all right. After that, I want to have another EQ. So I'll go into my EQ, and I'm going to set up a channel EQ, a little bit different to that first one. Again, I'll just move these down. So I'll just show you here. If I'll move this one down, because that'll actually keep it keep the channel here. So when I move that, the channel strip's not going to move up and down again. But I love this because I might go, look, after that EQ, I want to move this EQ up here and then compress it. Or I want to move this EQ after the compressor. Or, you know, I want something before that EQ comes in. So I've got a few little options by just having a bit of room and creating those spaces, and it just makes for an easier workflow. So now I've got that set up there. I'm pretty happy with that, but I do not need all of this turned on to start with. So I might keep the console on. The other thing you'll notice with this channel EQ, just while I'm on it, here, that I had saved a preset or a default setting where it's got the low pass on it, and I don't really want that low pass. So what I could do, just to save myself some time after moving everything, I'll just get rid of that, and I could just go through and copy and paste, which will be a lot quicker than going into the plugin and then removing or taking that high pass filter off. All right, done. So I want to just bypass all of them. So by clicking on that, I could bypass. And I've got the option of using it if I want it, but it's there. I've got a basic channel strip with my gain already set up, and I can now focus on the mixing aspects. We're pretty close to getting started. I've got my channel strip, basic channel strip. I can add anything that I want from my Logic plugins, stock plugins, into this as I need it. So for example, the vocal, I'll need more compression. For example, I'm laughing because I've just said this about 4 times. For example, the vocal, like I said, I wanted to have an 1176 into a opto compressor, and I've only got one compressor there, but I can easily open up another compressor now if I want to do that. So I'll do that soon. And also I'll probably put a de-esser on there, a bit more EQ, and etc. So we need to put in the bus compression, like I was saying. So I'll open up a compressor, but I'll also open a vintage console EQ. I might add the gain as well, just so I've got it. And let's go into something that is a stereo channel, and I can copy and move that over. There we go. So if I wanted to, for whatever reason, that's saying -5, but I don't want that. I've turned that off. Oh, did I just do something really cool? I did, didn't I? Okay, so you see these buttons here. Let's say you move something or you want to reset something to default, right? Like, well, if I just click on this here and I go option, if I click option and I click on that, that's going to reset it to 0. Oh, that saves so much time. I love it. Okay, so we got that. We got here, I just wanted to add a little bit of drive. That's it, nothing. I don't want to touch the EQ on this. And I'll go through and set up my compressor settings for the 2-bus. So I'll see here, we got compressor by type. I'll go do an opto, see what we get here with this slow. Go opto slow, turn that gain off, and yep, that's pretty good. Hey, if I play it now. So I could mix into that. Now, I might change some of these parameters and stuff as I go. So just so you know, I'll go through and actually I'll go through and change some of these parameters as I go. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and just make we're going to have a really fast attack, a slow attack and a faster release. So we'll make the attack about 30 seconds. Just twiddle these knobs a little bit and no gain, that's all good. Make that maybe around, we'll try the difference between auto and a quick release. Okay, so it's just dancing a little bit. The needle's just dancing a fraction. And like I said, I'll go through and just adjust these as we go. But that is to get us started. Now we are ready to start mixing. So I'm going to take a water break. I've been doing this for about an hour and a bit. And do you know what I've noticed with myself over the last hour and a half of talking? I did a few videos. I did one great video, and my screen recorder didn't capture all of the audio. So I cried for about an hour. No, I didn't really. I just started again. And I did an even better one because that's how I am. No, all right, okay. But I can tell you straight away that I have been talking for about an hour and a half and I need a break. Everyone needs a break. It's such a good idea to actually just take 5 minutes, go grab yourself a cup of tea every 45 minutes. Put an alarm on your phone and literally just take a break. Just for a few minutes, get up, move around, move your body, take a mental note. See, I can't even speak. That's what happens. I've got studio there. All right, break time. See you in a minute.